Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Lucid Dream Genius. Today, we'll talk about how to lucid dream according to science. So, without further ado, let's get started. In Tibetan Buddhism, there are special techniques called Milam. Milam is a technique that aims to show the illusion of our waking life. These techniques involve practicing yoga in our dreams to become aware that we are dreaming, which is known as lucid dreaming. It's a way to tap into the mysterious ability of the human mind to know we are dreaming even while asleep. Lucidity, which means being aware of the dream, is different from control, which involves having power over the dream experience. This control can include summoning objects and people, gaining superpowers, and exploring fantastical worlds. However, lucidity and control are closely connected, and many ancient spiritual traditions believe that dreams can become more accessible with time and practice. How is this possible? Despite the long history of lucid dreaming in human societies, it was not until 1975 that researchers found a clever way to test it scientifically. The first step was realizing that the muscles of the eyes remain active during sleep, unlike the rest of the body. Inspired by the work of Celia Green, a British hypnotherapist named Keith Hearn reasoned that this could allow lucid dreamers to communicate with the outside world. He asked an experienced dreamer to spend several nights in a sleep lab and instructed him to move his eyes from left to right in a specific pattern when he entered a lucid dream. The volunteer succeeded, and Hearn recorded the eye movements, which matched the rapid eye movement (REM) phase of sleep. Many later studies have confirmed these findings. However, finding reliable methods to induce lucid dreams has been challenging. Despite about 40 studies conducted on the subject since the 1970s, most of them reported limited success. Usually between 3% and 13% of attempts resulted in a lucid dream. Researchers noticed that the research was often hindered by small sample sizes and unreliable measurements. So, they decided to address these limitations and explore more promising methods. In the study, the researchers found that the most effective technique was something called mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, MILD, which was first created in the 1970s by the American psychophysiologist Stephen LaBerge. This technique involves the following steps. 1. Set an alarm for 5 hours after you go to bed. 2. When the alarm goes off, try to remember a dream from just before you woke up. If you can't recall it, think about any dream you had recently. 3. Lie comfortably in the dark and silently repeat this phrase in your mind. Next time I'm dreaming, I will remember I'm dreaming. Make sure you truly mean the words and focus on your intention to remember. 4. Each time you repeat the phrase in step 3, imagine yourself back in the dream you remembered in step 2 and visualize yourself remembering that you are dreaming. 5. Keep doing steps 3 and 4 until you either fall asleep or are confident that you have firmly set your intention to remember. This should be the last thing you think about before falling asleep. If you find yourself repeatedly thinking about remembering that you're dreaming, it's a good sign that your intention is strong in your mind. The researchers used data from 169 people all across Australia who kept a dream journal to see how different techniques affected their ability to have lucid dreams. More than half of the people who used the mild technique had at least one lucid dream in the week they started practicing. They went from having these dreams about once every 11 nights to about once every 6 nights. These findings are very exciting and show some of the highest success rates ever reported in scientific research. Surprisingly, the number of times people repeated the mantra or the overall time spent on mild did not predict success. The most crucial factor was completing the technique and then falling back asleep quickly. In fact, it was almost twice as effective when people fell asleep within 5 minutes after setting their intention. If you want to try this yourself, you'll need to experiment to find the right level of wakefulness when the alarm goes off, enough to do the steps but not so much that it's hard to fall back asleep. Doing the technique after about 5 hours of sleep is also important, as most dreams happen in the last 2 to 3 hours before waking, and you want to minimize the time between finishing the technique and entering REM sleep. It takes some practice, but if you're lucky, you might even have a lucid dream using mild on your first night. If you become aware that you're dreaming, it's essential to stay calm since strong emotions can wake you up too soon. If the dream starts to fade or feel unstable, try rubbing your hands together vigorously from within the dream. It may sound odd, but this can help keep you in the dream and decrease the chances of waking up. Besides the happiness of controlling a make-believe world, there are several psychological benefits to lucid dreaming. Firstly, it can help with nightmares by providing relief when you realize you're dreaming. You can also use dreams to deal with trauma, facing what's troubling you or finding ways to escape from frightening situations. Lucid dreaming has other uses too, like practicing sports skills while asleep, involving more active participants in sleep and dreaming studies, and seeking creative inspiration. With practice, our dream state can become almost as real as the waking world, making us question where fantasy and reality truly separate. Lucid dreaming means being aware that you are dreaming while you are asleep. It has been known in spiritual traditions for a long time. Scientists started studying it in the 1970s by looking at eye movements during sleep. Although many studies have been done on lucid dreaming, it's not easy to make it happen. But there is a technique called mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, MILD, that seems to work well. Lucid dreaming can be useful for dealing with nightmares and facing fears. It can also be used to practice skills and find creative inspiration. With practice, dreams can feel very real, blurring the line between dreams and reality. It's an exciting field of study with many possibilities for personal growth and exploration. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts. Have a good sleep and see you in the next video.